Hello anybody and welcome back to Let's Play Super Mario RPG. I'm Mr. Devious, or just Deeb, and in the last episode, we took back Bowser's Keep, defeated Exor, only to find the passage into a new dimension where all of the Smithy gang and all of its weapons are coming from. And in today's episode, we are going to press onward in search of Smithy, the villain behind everything. So immediately we come into this room past that secondary one, where we're going to have a lot of platforming challenges across these bolts that are reminiscent of Super Mario Bros. 3, and there are a lot of enemies in here. First things first, we're gonna fight some enemies who we already saw in the castle. Who we saw a little bit early. We saw one of these guys. These guys have two moves that we need to worry about. They have Scythe, which is an insta-kill move, and they also have Death Sickle. Now, this isn't actually my party that I had before, because this is actually a different file than my normal save file. Why? Because I wanted to show off something I got in my practice file by accident, the Star Egg. You get the Star Egg by going to Great Guy's Casino and winning the Look the Other Way minigame 100 times. This takes about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how persistent you are, and I didn't... And I didn't mean to get it on my practice file, but there you go. That's what the Star Egg does. You can use it as many times as you want, so let's just watch that madness again. I meant to get it on my main file, and I'm gonna switch back right after this fight and act as though I did this fight with my normal party in my normal file. So yeah, it normally does 100 damage, but fear effects will affect it, and if you use offense up with Geno on somebody, it will also make it do more damage. So yeah. This is the thing, and they're trying to inflict more and more fear on us, but we've already fought these guys, so we can take them out as Mario takes a nap. Also, this is the formation we'll be using when I get back to my other file with Mario and Geno, and they all pop. Alright, I will see you back on my normal file. And in resuming the file, starting the fight with the same Greeper I showed off, I met another enemy, Hippopo. The Hippopo is an enemy with a lot of HP and quite a few magical attacks that it has up its arsenal, that it can just... Why do I keep saying up its arsenal? That's not what I mean to say. Well, anyway, it has some potent magic in its repertoire of items. It has Sandstorm. It also has Solidify, and a couple other of high-level magic spells that we haven't seen in a while. It's worth noting that I also bought I went back to Seaside Town and bought the Scrooge Ring for Mallow, which cuts his MP usage in half. So now he can use a lot of moves pretty consequence-free. Like Star Rain is only 7 FP, Snowy Shocker is only 4. It's all gotten very cheap. So yeah. This is definitely something that's worth doing. Sonic Symbol, of course, is Mallow's ultimate weapon, which we saw before. Is this guy gonna do something else new? No, he's just gonna use another Sandstorm. Of course, I do have the safety badge on Mario in this file, so he's not affected by fear, unlike in the other file, where I did not have the safety badge on him. Other than that, though, not a lot else to say about this enemy. Even the battlefields here, even though they play the very jumpy and happy music, and we get a level up. Even though it plays like the very cheerful and upbeat music, it's clearly not a pleasant place with just, again, scrap metal all over the place. In these platforming sections, there is the danger of falling, but when you fall, all that happens is you get sprung back up to here. So the consequences aren't that worrisome, but it is worth noting that there is going to be one room coming up where you want to fall in order to find secrets, but you're more likely to find it more by accident than anything, but... Oh god, it fell again. This is a bit more challenging than it looks, and I know I've said this a million times before, but say it with me, isometric platforming is not great. But, what is that, blueberry gum? No. It's an amoeboid. The amoeboid is a very interesting enemy. If you just attack it outright, it will die very easily. What does this cheery fellow have to say for himself? What are you thinking about, sir? Get out of my face! Well, that's awfully nice. Psychoplasm. What does that even do? I don't know, because I'm immune to status effects. But these guys can also, aside from having really weird attack animations, they can also do something else. Wait, I think I actually have to attack them without killing them. Is that the case? There, of course, yep, if you attack these guys and do not kill them, there is good odds that they will split up into 5. So now we got 5 of these jerks to deal with. Let's try out the Ultra Flame and see what that does for us. We've already seen what these guys can do. These guys are really gross, and actually, if you remember Chester, which was a mimic enemy from a few episodes ago, that guy actually had an amoeboid inside, which you have no chance of seeing because it never attacks physically. Also, I figured out how to do this attack. If you just press the Y button as the star has almost completely compressed, you will get pretty reliable results on the bouncing. And this can go on for a long, long time. Well, how long can I keep it going? But even then, it didn't do that much damage because these guys have magic resistance. I've never been able to find an opportunity where I could actually use... Oh, that's what it does. Okay, so the Psychoplasm inflicts fear. But yeah, I've never been able to use the Star Rain in a situation where it's been super duper useful. Stop using status effects, please. Smithy's Factory enemies. There are a lot of new enemies here, and a lot of them really like status effects. So that's something that you're gonna have to contend with when you're going through here. And I definitely advise keeping status effect accessories on at least 2 of your party members, at least a couple. My god, these guys, I'm gonna jump on them and just try and kill them. Because this is embarrassing. This is an embarrassing state to be in. And they're not even that tough. And they don't take any damage. What is this crap? Let's just finish these guys off one by one. I will say, as we're approaching the end of the game, that I do feel that battles move a little bit. The pace of battles, especially when there are a lot of enemies on the opposite field, their attack animations and things take too long, and it just kind of slows things down. Especially since I'm spending a lot more time in this battle than I would have wanted to for any reason whatsoever. Oh well, we're almost at the end of this fight. 358, so yeah, I should have been just using physical attacks from the beginning. But this is the time to make mistakes, even if I have bad at practice file. But they do give you a royal syrup if you kill them, so that's nice. Now here it doesn't really matter what path you take. There's not really any promise of rewards or not rewards. Man, I forgot how long it actually takes to kill those guys. On my practice file, I was one-shotting them when they were alone, so they weren't really a problem for me. Anyway, we come in this room, and there's a button over here, and you want to press it fast because if you don't, you'll get assaulted by bouncing amoeboids, and you don't want that to happen. So we get ourselves a save point, which we're going to ignore because immediately we're going to come to another platforming challenge, and we get ourselves an Ultra Hammer. This is Mario's ultimate weapon outside of the Lazy Shell, which increases his attack by 10. You could put the Lazy Shell on him for an increase of 20, but unlike Peach, I don't think Mario needs it that much. I'll still show off the Lazy Shell, but not in this episode, or the next one. Yes, you want to be definitely very careful though, and very patient, but as you start springing around in classic Square Enix, or rather just Square I guess at the time, in Square fashion, the final dungeon is a place for bosses. It's Mario!
It's Mario.
How did he get here? We better do something! And here we come to a new boss, Dingaling, Dingalings, and Countdown. Countdown and Dingaling are very unique enemies. You want to focus on the bells first and foremost. They have about 1,000 HP each. There's Mario's animation on that one. And they're all weak to electricity. You want to get rid of the bells first. They only have 1,000 HP each, and the clock face has about 2,000. They have a huge variety of attacks they can use, like Spore Chimes, which turns, of course, a party member into a mushroom, because of course, why wouldn't it do that? Now, the thing about the clock face, about Countdown himself, is he has a very specific set of moves that he's going to use as we fight him. Basically, as the clock moves along, he has a specific move for each hour and each time of the day. Each time of the day. So 1 o'clock, he'll always use Crystal, and he'll always use something at about the same time of day. The Dingalings do have a move that can actually accelerate the clock and put it at a different time along the way. Time is marching on. Fear Roulette, that is not good. That's an insta-kill move. Time for a break. Aurora Flash. This is, of course, the sleepy move that can put us to sleep. Dingaling loves these moves. Dingaling loves putting your party members to sleep and afflicting them in all these different ways. not Dingling, Countdown. It's super frustrating, and you kind of have to account for it. Again, status immunities are the best, but I don't have status immunity on Gino or on Mallow, so that's something we're just gonna have to contend with. Doom Reverb, I forget what this does. I think it's a fear effect. I am so sick of all these status effects. Oh no, it's a mute. Mute, that's bad. And he's gonna get turned into a scarecrow and muted. What malarkey is this? Now he can't do anything at all. 6 o'clock, time to fully recover, and he's using Mega Recover. That's not good. This is a tough boss fight. Smithy's Factory does not mess around. For as easy as most of the game is, Smithy's Factory definitely ups the difficulty for the final challenge, and it's definitely appreciated, but we're still able to do quite a bit of damage. However, because Mallow is a scarecrow, he is now able to use his magic again. Thankfully, they cannot stack Mute and Scarecrow. That would be ridiculous. It's worth mentioning that when you are turned into a mushroom, your defense is actually, I think it's doubled. It's increased. So it's harder to kill someone when they're a mushroom, so that much is appreciated. That was a decent amount of damage. And oh no, they are using the most powerful enemy move in the game. Dark Star hits one enemy for a lot of damage, but that actually could have been a lot worse, considering it has the highest base power of pretty much any enemy magic attack in the game. Anyway, we're gonna hopefully take out the bells, at least one of these dinglings on this move. As you can see, Countdown and the dinglings are both weak to jumping. So that much is also appreciated, and they're all weak to, you know, everything that we've seen so far. Let us use Thunderbolt to get a good amount of damage on them. Very solid. We beat one of the bells. Time is marching onward. 9 o'clock, guess I'll break. Thankfully, when you get to that time in the clock, you get a nice little moment of just a reprieve to kind of get back your bearings. Let's use this Max Mushroom on Mallow so he's not in trouble anymore. 255 is the max amount of health you can have in this game, so that's also something you should know. I'm not sure if that was intentional as a reference to like the limitations of like NES games, where 255 was usually the maximum amount of characters you could have, the max amount of money you could have, and oh no. In like Legend of Zelda, the max amount of rupees you could have was like 255, but anyway, if he gets over to It's Time to Garden, he will use that move, which as you can see, will turn your party members into mushrooms if they're vulnerable to it, so that's no good at all. We're gonna use Freshen Up in this case, just to get off these status effects. This is what I bought the Freshen Ups for. Not that it really matters on Mallow, but you know. Let's see if we can't just take out this bell once and for all. In one clean shot. No! Fear Roulette, don't kill one of my party members, please. Don't kill Mallow. High Noon Corona. This is the most powerful fire spell in the game. I'm pretty sure about that. Am I gonna die? Oh! I died! And because I didn't use the second save point, I gotta go from all the way back here. Ah! And let that be a lesson to you. I've kind of done a little bit of damage, and I'm gonna take the opportunity to show off that new attack that he can use. Let that be a lesson to you about not keeping your party topped off on HP and stuff, especially in Smithy's Factory, because there are a lot of high power moves that can kill you. I am gonna keep that game over in because I'm not gonna lie about the quality of my playing. Gonna take this moment though to, of course, max out Mario's HP because he could use the heal. Peach, of course, if you keep her in your party, is just a godsend, especially in these fights. Just with all of these dangerous spells and status effect stuffs, with the safety ring, she is just completely super duper useful. So my advice would be, if you're gonna keep anybody in your party, Peach is definitely worth it if you want to kind of survive. Thankfully, the dinglings are wasting their turns on healing. 3 o'clock, time to recover, whatever, no big deal. We've already seen all of the moves that Countdown can do, I think, now, except for how the dinglings made time march on, so we haven't really seen everything, but I think we've seen enough where we can just kind of try to bust out and take our revenge on this guy with completely just no mercy whatsoever, with extreme prejudice. I mean, because really, wow. I beat a giant sword, but I got killed by a clock. An alarm clock. How embarrassing. Anyway, though, that takes care of one of the dinglings again, so that is taken care of. And the other one won't last a lot longer at that, in that case. Geno Blast. No, let's do Geno Flash, because why not? It's kind of funny that you're still Scarecrow, because of course you have to stay a Scarecrow for your spell, so you don't get to turn into a giant, cool cannon. And Ultra Jump should finish off this Diggling again, so that now we'll actually be down to 1 target instead of 2. Thankfully, we got lucky this time, and they weren't able to get out as many status effects this time around, so once he's down to just Countdown, he's a lot easier to deal with. I am going to be taking this opportunity to HP Rain Mallow just to keep him topped off. If he does get to the end of his clock, he just starts busting out a lot of the really, really strong magic. And of course, here comes that move again, so that's no fun. Can't use items as Geno because, of course, you can't use moves as Geno. Gonna take this opportunity to use Freshen Up. Freshen Up! Just to get the whole team back in order. And with Mallow, we are gonna be using Shocker because Countdown is weak to electric attacks. Because he's metal, I guess. Time to fully recover. This is nonsense. Don't do that. As said before, Countdown does have somewhere in the realm of like 2,000 HP as opposed to the Dingling's 1,000, so he does definitely take longer to kill. But once he's the only target left, it goes much faster. Why does Smithy have this in his legions? When you get to this point in the game, the bosses start getting really weird. That's all I really have to say on that. 440, very nice. We do not have enough things left for... We don't have enough things? We don't have enough FP left for the Shocker, so... We're just gonna heal up Mario, top him off, get ourselves a freebie on that mushroom, shoot the clock for 190 damage, beat it with a hammer for 172, not bad. We still don't have enough for anything else other than just what we're dealing with. 156. Dinner time. We didn't see this before. He uses Water Blast, which, as we've seen used by other bosses like Yuridovich and Zombone, I think Zombone used it, does quite a bit of damage. Definitely nothing to scoff at. We've all taken quite a bit of damage here. Probably going to take this opportunity to max out Mallow, just so we have, you know, our healer is topped off. Again, with Peach, this would just be so much easier to deal with. Just not even an issue. HP Rain Mario, because it's just a good idea. I really should be using Geno Boost more to make these battles easier, but I guess I'm not because I don't know why I'm not. 9 o'clock, thankfully he's breaking. And I finally got the timing down on Geno's thing, and that's the end of Countdown. That fight was a lot harder than I thought it would be. 67 experience, 100 coins, we get a lot of stuff for that, and the clock is dead, and we got ourselves a save point. So actually, even though we haven't gotten very far into Smithy's Factory, we took a while to kill Countdown and a couple enemies. So I think we're going to make today a shorter episode. So yeah, if you want to see us plunge even deeper into Smithy's Factory, then I just hope to see you in the next one. Sorry for the short episode, bye-bye!